Hey y'all, welcome to not a guide, but a perspective on what you can get as an F2P player after playing this game for a little over 2 years. To give some context, I started this account on April 22nd, 2021, which would have been during about 1.4 or 1.5. I originally started this account because I wanted to get different characters that were, distinct from my main, because at the time, my main had Ganyu, Albedo, Dayluk as my main. It was very early Genshin, so, not a lot of things were figured out yet, or rather they were figured out, or at least it didn't get mainstreamed. I mainly created this account because I wanted this guy, and I didn't have him on my main at the time because I'd skipped out on him, and then after I heard he got buffed, I'm like, oh shoot, that sounds really cool. And now I'm back in the limbo state where he's good. Not necessary by any means whatsoever, but he is good. Just to give you guys a time window of when I'm recording this, I'm recording this in patch 4.1, where the new Yelan and Hutao banners have about 9 days left. Just to give you guys some time window, because I don't know when I'll upload this, but it'll probably be soon anyways. Anyhow, my main motto for this account was just to get the characters I didn't have on my main, and that was just kind of the idea. That idea kind of bled a little bit, because some characters like Yelan, Nahida, and Kazuha, there's honestly, you can't not have cross-pollination, because these characters are just very, very good at what they do. Yeah, meta players can just say, yeah, Sucrose is better, and I understand that, but Kazuha is more convenient. I mean, Sucrose has this auto-targeting issue, as do most ranged archetype characters in this game do, and so I didn't want to deal with that. Kazuha just seemed like the very easy solution out of that, and to be fair, he is a very good character. Back to the point, this account is entirely F2P. No money has been spent on it, but of course, I still went for character banners and stuff, and as you can see here, I have that thing. So F2P in the very loose sense of I will still go for what I think is good. More stuff, have more fun, basically. If I get bored with the characters on one account, then I can move to the other one to refresh myself, But regardless, this video will be a mini sort of review of this account, and I mean, you guys can be the judge, but I'm just going to be showing off this account and what I have done so far, and the stuff that I've gotten. Let's get into it. Starting with the character on screen. Hutao, I originally got around, I think it was 2.2. Yeah, November 19th, 2021 is when I got my Hutao. If I could have, I would have went for the C1, but of course this is a completely free-to-play account, so I just had to grind a bunch of stuff, try to get it there, but I couldn't because it was just too steep of a pity count, and I'm not lucky. Yeah, she's sitting at 68, 247, and, pretty good stats, I think. They're okay, right? These are okay stats, right? Okay, preferably I would like to have 70% crit rate. I don't know how many of you guys know this, but my general rule for DPS-oriented characters is to have at least a 70 to 140 ratio. That's my baseline. Anything below that, I will grind the hell out just to get them above that, or like to that level or above it. 68% here, I don't really trust it because my luck is garbage. Moving on, we have the weapon. Obviously, Staff of Homa, R1. Because I feel like this is just one of those weapons that you should never refine unless you have like tens of copies. But if you only have like 2 or 3, then you're better off just splitting it between multiple characters rather than just investing it vertically into one copy, because it's a really good weapon that can be used on a lot of characters and that benefits a lot of characters, right? So moving on, the artifact set is Crimson Witch. I mean, I've showed these pieces before. This is the same Hutao on the same account. Since then, I've pulled this and then this. You may disagree with me, but Hutao at C1 with an R1 Staff of Homa is basically peak Hutao. Anything below that is either a pain to play or not doing enough to make it worth learning how to play her. Like in any scenario before that, this character just wins. She just wins. She just clears Hutao before C1 R1. Since this is basically what I deem to be the baseline, I just had to go for it. Yeah, so that's Hutao. Xingqiu is a bit of a rip because he kind of just has an R2 sack sword after 2.5 years of playing, only R2. And it kind of sucks. Especially when I look at my main, and then my main has like 15 copies. Granted, I spent more money on it, but still, that's so dumb. Artifacts, he's broken. I've been trying to fix this for a while, but he's fine. He's C6, which is totally achievable within 2 years of playing. And then level 8. He's still capped 80, but, he gets the job done, which is why I don't really care about him too much. And his main job is just to apply Hydro for her anyways. Moving on, Yelan. Yelan, I think, mine has a pretty good stat distribution. Pretty good overall. It's like basic stat distribution. 74, 175, 203 with a Fav Warbow, because that's her baseline weapon. And you get this for free anyway, so it's not as if, you get one copy for free. I have like an R6 on this account. But, you know, pretty standard build. Emblem Severed Fates. You can look at the stat distribution here. To be fair, the crit is above average, I think, for a Yelan build, but, you know, 22 recharge sure isn't. But, I mean, Fav makes up for it. C0, talents, double crowned, because Yelan is very good. She has become one of my favorite characters since getting her back in 3.4. And, man, she is so damn good. Oh, my God. She's so damn fun to play, too. Yeah. Honestly, one of my favorite characters to play in this game. Next up, Zhongli. I built this man complete tank because anything else before like R3, C5, like C5 R3, it is just a waste of time in my opinion. Trying to build him for damage is just a waste of time. I mean, it's the general consensus. You don't build him for damage unless you have super high vertical investment. But with that said, he has 50k HP with Hydro Resonance and 57 crit rate. I literally have no crit damage subs at all, which is hilarious to me, by the way. That is absolutely hilarious to me. I just did not roll a single crit damage sub. But hey, at the very least, he is very min-max. This is probably the most min-max Zhongli I've ever seen. Yeah, obviously, Fav Lance, because, you know, this build is basically riding off the fact that he's helping these two generate more energy in the case that they don't generate enough energy for each other, or Xingqiu misses a sack proc. Artifacts for tenacity, HP. I mean, you've seen the build before. I've shown it off in my videos, and he's single crown because I don't care enough to do this because it's a waste of time. I usually don't use it unless I need to fill time, and that's only in one scenario, which is I think an Ito comp, because there's some spare time that you can use, so you may as well just petrify stuff for the next rotation and stuff like that. But I don't usually use his burst. I leveled it up to a good level anyways, just because it can do a solid amount of damage, plus like the A4 passive, right? The 33% here. But besides that, he's C0 on this account. You know, that's all he's there for. It's just a hold E, and then just protect her from dying. So, you know, standard stuff. Next up is Kazuha. He is such a work in progress, but he does have the basic necessities, just a lot of EM and a lot of recharge. I would like to get his crit rate up a little bit more just so I can get the Favonius activation, but, you know, artifacts don't like me, so I mean, if you want to see how ass his artifacts are, like, you look at this. This is horrible. But I mean, at the very least, he's got recharge and he's got EM, so I can't really complain too much. C0 and single crown, because I mean, he's cool. He's not one of my favorite characters to play. He's purely here because of a meta reason. He's just convenient, right? I wouldn't say I like playing him, right? But you know, he's good for what he does, and not really much past that. Next up, Eula, the joke character of this account. Because I'm gonna be real with you, Yelan means might get mad, but she's dog. She's horrible. Like with her like backloading her burst, it's not exactly great. A lot of enemies in this game have a lot more physical resistance than they would with other elements, so that just puts her further into a rut. Never minding the fact that her ER requirement is super freaking steep, even when I try to run Raiden with her, which I'll come up to in a second. But yeah, even if I try to run 140 recharge plus like Zhongli, Favonius, I also have Rosaria on Favonius as well, which is why going back to the 70% crit rate rule, she's fine because Rosaria will bring her up past 70, which is, you know, fine for me. Honestly, that's fine. I mean, you probably prefer somewhere around 80 because it's a one-hit bang, and if you miss it, you lost a lot of her DPS, right? Or just, it's not even DPS, it's just or DPR, you know, damage per rotation, because she doesn't have DPS, at least with the build that I have, right? Because she's at 64, 168, 140 recharge, and 83 physical. On Wolf's Gravestone, this is basically one of her better weapons, right? One like third best, fourth best maybe, which is pretty good considering that the options above that are like Beacon of the Reed Sea or Song of Broken Pines. You can make an argument for Pride, but not really. So Wolf's Gravestone's up there. Hellflame for a set, C0, which is maybe why she sucks, but I digress. She even has good talent levels, and she doesn't do jack. She doesn't do enough to make her worth using. She has good talent levels, damn it. I mainly just got Yule on this account just to hammer in the fact that I can now complain about this character without getting shit for it, because I own her, I've played her, and I've done the most that I possibly can with this character to make her good. But, you know, to no avail, because physical sucks, energy sucks. Yeah, it's a backloaded burst, so, you know, there are times where you could just do nothing because it has to land, and it has to land in the right place to do anything, and it just a whole lot of issues. Anyhow, next up, Ayaka. Ayaka is probably one of my favorite characters on this account as well. Definitely like top 5, I would say. Ayaka is at 40 crit rate, 228 crit damage, 127 recharge. I also interchangeably use Rosario with her too because I don't have Shenhe. Although I do want to get Shenhe, but luck didn't really have it in the cards for me. Blizzard Strayer, and I was lucky enough to get Miss Splitter. One thing I did do, and one thing that I found was better for this account in particular, was that I am running an attack circlet on my Ayaka. Because if you didn't know, this could actually be a thing. This could actually be something to take in for yourself and for your own Ayaka if you do have her. Yeah, if you have a Miss Splitter Reforged, it might be better to run attack percent on your circlet because this thing's already giving a crap ton of damage percent, right? You got the crit damage here, which is 44, and you get 12 elemental damage bonus here, and then more elemental damage bonus, which leads to about 80% damage percent. So having the attack circlet here actually balances it out and, you know, makes her do more damage. Of course, this is a case-by-case basis, but this is what I found from my own personal account. Although, if you do have both of those things, like Ayaka and Miss Splitter, it could be better to run in a crit circlet if you have Shenhe, because Shenhe gives, you know, a bunch of other bonuses that make the math all weird and change it up a little bit, so. She's triple crown because every part of her kit does something for her, so. And I liked her a lot, so I just decided to give it to her. I've considered this for a while now, but I think the only reason I would spend money on this account was to go for the skin, because I genuinely think that skin looks really nice on her. Next up, Raiden. I got her originally when she first came out because she was the hype character at the time, and she's very OP. She carried me through a lot of this game, and I appreciate her for it. Do I like her as a character? No. Do I like her as a playable character? Yes, but you know, that's besides the point. She's rocking a 72-155 spread here, 229 recharge. Might be wondering why my recharge is low because I have this. I do not have Engulfing Lightning. I can use the catch, but that would cause me to rebuild my Raiden, which I do really. I don't really feel like doing, right? So yeah, she's just running Jade Spear. Jade Spear is a good enough weapon. It gets by. And yeah, she is on Emblem because I do not have enough EM pieces to go around. She's running attack, electro crit, SE0. I do plan to change this if I can, but before that, actually, yeah, no, I would prefer to just put her as C2 before I go for engulfing, probably. I don't know. I'll decide when that happens, if that happens. Yeah, double crown because why not? Her burst does dummy thick damage, and her skill is also pretty good at doing damage. Next up, Keqing. She was, I think, my first 5-star on this account as well. It was either her or Chi-Chi. Keqing got better after Dendro came out, so I decided to actually build her more. She was partially built on, I think it was 2 TF and 2 Glad, you know, which at the time was the best set, like one of the better sets to run on her, but, you know, Electric Charge got phased out, and then Dendro came in with Aggravate, and so she became a good character again. Well, she became a good character, period, I should say. But yeah, she's rocking 79, 232, 129 recharge, which has actually been worse for me than it actually helped, because I can't use Miss Splitter on her, because I have these times where I just switch weapons between characters, because I might want to use one more over the other at a certain time, and then it's just like I can't switch her to that because she has too much recharge. She's getting her burst back too quickly. God damn it! Anyhow, but she's on her run because this guy's holding this, and then this, and then she's holding that. So by default, this goes to her. Which, to be fair, is not a bad weapon on her because she does normal attacks and stuff like that. And it's also a nice crit rate buff and elemental damage bonus, so that's cool. She's currently on 4 Thundering Fury. Yeah, attack, electro crit. Just fine. T2 because this game hates me. Because her constellations don't really get much better. Don't really make her much better either. I think the only like substantial buff is this one and maybe this one, but this one's a bit hit or miss. Talents are at 999. I don't feel like she's worth the crown yet on this account until I can actually properly build Miss Splitter on her, or just get another copy of Miss Splitter so I can put it on her. I have her triple crown on my main, so Keqing mains back off, please. It evens out, right? She's at 999 regardless, so. Next up, Alhaitham. One of my favorite characters on this account. He's so cool, man. He is so cool. I love the way, like, I love how he works. I love his, like, his playstyle and all that stuff. It's like half quick swap, half hyper carry type thing. And that's like a perfect balance for me, I think. It's very Tartaglia-esque, which is also one of my favorite characters, so I enjoyed him. He's currently rocking 82, 178, 131 recharge, 404 EM, and 90 Dendro damage bonus. Jade Cutter, as we've seen before, and he's on a split set because I cannot get a 4 set of Gilded to save my life. So, I mean, it's a pretty decent 4 set, but you know, obviously I prefer Gilded if I can get it. I've been farming that for a while now, but I haven't had any luck, as you do. Of course, Constellation 0. He doesn't really want constellations. All these suck anyways, besides this one. And maybe you could make a point for this one. You know, for the most part, his constellations suck. He's double crowned. I've considered doing this, but not really much of a point. I'm only going through the relevant characters because, you know, relevant characters are the ones that build. But yeah, next up is Nahida. Nahida, I went for more of a hybrid build on this account. I mean, I think I did on my main as well, but she's at 709 recharge, or 709, yeah, EM, sorry. 44 crit rate, which will go up to about, give or take, maybe 50% crit rate, which is fine. Honestly, I don't really care. That's not what I'm mainly using her for, right? So it's fine. Sack frags, because it's there. It's EM. Why not? 4 Deepwood, it's pretty standard. Constellation 0, and then only crown 1 crown. Dehya, this is the same Dehya that I used in my video series. That month-long period of me maining Dehya, this is the exact Dehya. Obviously, some stuff has been taken off of her in favor of other characters, but, you know, she's carried me on a few occasions, ironically enough, to where, you know, if I need a pyro, if I need a full team of pyro, I just bring in mono pyro and just have Dehya as the tank, as the meat shield. She generally does pretty well, contrary to everything I've said about her before, but, you know, it's ironic. She's fun. I do like playing her. It's just sad that when I do, I feel a visible nerf. But, you know, that's just how it goes, I guess. She's such a tragic character. Oh my god, please. Alright, and yeah, we could go through my Bennett. Bennett's really standard support build because I don't really have any reason to build him DPS on this account. He's just on ER HP healing. It works. I don't really need to expand on it further, right? He's C5, and I think if I do get the C6 on this account, I won't pop it just so it can, you know, showcase different things. You know, 3 years in, they still have not enabled constellation toggling because, you know, they assume that every constellation is a buff. Well, la-di fucking da, I guess. Talents are, he's crowned on his Q because it's a worthwhile crown, I think, because it gives him more healing and bigger attack buff. And in combination with this, it's a really big attack buff, so I may as well take it. And he's also running an alley flash. I just happened to get lucky on one of the weapon banners I just rolled on randomly and then just got alley flash, which, if you don't know, is, I think, still the third best sword in terms of base attack, because everything above that is like what you got, Mist Splitter Reforged with 674 and Aquila Favonia I think also has 674, so this is the next best thing, and it's literally just a stat stick. Even the EM on it and the damage and the passive don't really matter to me. It's just literally the base attack. Next up, Kokomi. I'll be honest, I was a Kokomi non-believer first, not necessarily hater, just non-believer, because, you know, I figured who needs that amount of healing when you've already got this kid? And you know what, after Dendro, she kind of proved me wrong. And especially after I got Ayaka, because I'm pretty sure I got Kokomi in 3.0. Yeah, this would have been 3.0. So yeah, Kokomi has served me very well since then because, you know, passive hydro healer, works well with freeze, works well with all the Dendro stuff. Good character overall. And mine's basically min-maxed to hell because I don't really care about her doing damage. She just has to heal. So 60% healing bonus, like 40k HP off party, and not 190 recharge. Holding a Thrilling Tales or Dragon Slayers because why wouldn't I, right? I mean, I can use this, but Thrilling Tales just makes more sense because I can freeze, especially because I don't have Shenhe. This is just a bigger buff for me, right? Artifacts are on for tenacity because Ocean Hue Clam is pain, and I don't want to feel like farming that artifact domain because I get very little benefit out of it anyways. And then yeah, all the substats. This is kind of cursed because it's 21 defense. My god, that's disgusting to look at. Like, all these are very mid artifacts, or very garbage artifacts, but you know, they worked well enough for what I need her to do, so I never really had a big problem with it. Talents are at 8. I've considered leveling this up to 9 when I feel like it, I guess. I don't think I really need to, but, you know, gives her a little bit of something extra. Next up, Xiangling. She recently got a buff. How? I put this on her because I got Staff of Homa for Hutao. So, Staff of Scar's Hands is, I think, mathematically her best weapon because it's enormous crit rate, and then, you know, the more EM you have, the more attack you have, which is good. And on skill hit, you also get more attack, you know, per EM point that you have. So yeah, really good character. Xiangling, I mean, you've seen people sing her praises. She's incredible. She does a lot of damage, snapshotting, and then Vaporize is free. And then yeah, I've got Emblem Sever Fates. My stat distribution is a little bit scuffed because I'm having to run an ER Sands that also sucks. And then this is very mid. This is really good. This is good. This is dog, and then this is also very mid. So I'm trying to improve a lot of Emblem characters, but Emblem, you know, Emblem is pain. C6, and these talent as far as they can go for now because she's not 90'd. Although I do plan on 90'ing her because I think she's definitely worth the 90. Or at the very least, ascension to 90. Next up, Kaya. He's not exactly built nowadays. He's just kind of a flex character for when I need some stuff done. I used to use him a lot. And he is pretty good. He's level 90. I originally got the Jade Coder for him in particular, just to make him better. And then I ended up throwing that on Alhaitham because Alhaitham is infinitely better than Kaya. Like, come on, prove me wrong. Thoma, 201 recharge because I'm a paranoid that needs a lot of recharge to make rotations feel smooth because otherwise I just feel pain. Yeah, he's on a 2-set gilded. This is a Burgeon Thoma build. Just a lot of EM, a lot of ER, maybe and some HP to boot. He's on ER, EM, and yeah, he's a build in progress because I also need a full gilded, but whatever. We'll get there when we get there, right? Constellation 6. This was unintentional, but I guess if I ever wanted to use him with Hutao, this makes her do more damage. Then yeah, these are the way they are. The stupid thing about this character is that I started wanting to build him, or seriously wanting to build him, and immediately after I got Dehya, which people were saying to be basically Thoma but better, but actually it turns out Thoma is better than Dehya, so that kind of ticks me off. So that was kind of a shitty moment, but yeah, contain R5. Diluc is on this account for sure. I haven't really built him as intensively as I have on my main because I don't really have the resources to do so, but he is on a 4 Crimson set. Just by accident, just from me farming for Hutao, and this is crazy. 18% crit rate, 7%. Yeah, this is crazy. This is funny to look at, not crazy though. No, he's definitely this account. I didn't really take any measures in prioritizing him because I got Hutao. I had Hutao before I got him. So I got Hutao on November 19th, 2021. I got him. I think I got cucked by him on Yelan banner. Not that I hate the dude, but you know, I would have preferred to have gone Yelan at the time. But yeah, no, May 31st, 2022. I didn't really have any much of a reason to use him. I just built him for the sake of it, just because I didn't feel like doing my boy dirty. I think the only built characters past this point are like Fischl and Rosaria, maybe Sucrose. Sucrose has something on her, but it's not as if it's like the best. I can chuck this on her, I guess. But yeah, no, Fischl, standard build. 62, a little bit low, but you know. I haven't gone around to farming the new set yet. I should farm Golden Troop. I've been trying to farm Gilded or Emblem characters, so you know, she's taking a bit of a backseat for that. But you know, she has a pretty decent thing going. It's fine. It works. She's not C6 yet, which, you know, kind of irks me a little bit because her C6 is very good. But, you know, whatever happens, happens, right? And, I mean, she does enough to warrant me using her anyways, so I don't really care too much. Yao Yao is a pretty standard support Yao build. Like Scarred Spine, because I don't have another Favge. I mean, I do now, but it's R1, so it doesn't really do much. So I may as well just keep using Spine. Deep with Memories. I guess you could also run Tenacity, but I haven't really gone around to do that. But yeah, so Deep with Memories is what it is, right? C2, fortunately enough, I somehow managed to cop 2 of those during 3.4, somehow. And then talent levels are pretty standard. They're not. She's just a character that exists, and she's built for what it's worth. She's good at what she does, and that's kind of it for me. Rosaria is my Eula and Ayaka support because I don't have a Shenhe, and I mean Rosaria is good for Eula anyways. She's rocking an R2 Fab Lance. Force and Noblesse. C5, I would like the C6 because it makes Eula be less dog ass. So that'd be cool. And talent levels are 8 plus the you know, the constellations, right? She's not meant to do damage. She's not built for that at all. She's just there for the crit rate buff, and I mean, she has some damage behind her if she happens to do so. I did put on a Crowd Goblet just because why not? And then I put ER Sands because I need it. Because this bitch needs it. My god, she is so energy hungry you would not believe. I can't even get a full rotation up with Raiden. Plus Zhongli's Favonius, and then Rosaria with her insane recharge. Along with Favonius still does not battery her in one damn fell swoop. It is dog water. She has 140 recharge, for Christ's sake. So yeah, Eula is the joke character of this account. She just doesn't. I've tried. You can't say that this is not trying. This is trying, but I can't make anything out of her. I've leveled her talents and everything. I've got a good weapon on her, albeit not her best, but I don't have that many options and comparisons, so it's whatever. You know, I've tried. She just can't do it. In terms of world exploration, I mean, it's whatever. It's just how much I feel like playing the game on certain days. I haven't done my commissions yet. I'll get around to doing them. And somehow the most complete area on this account is Inazuma. And I've also been like parts of Chasm and then parts of Mondstadt here, but you know, I do these things when I feel like doing them, which is not very often because I'm trying to play on another account, and so that account takes priority over this one because I like that account more. I've been warming up to this account because for one thing, Hutao is not broken anymore. Like, she actually feels like a proper character that I can actually play now. She actually does enough damage to warrant choosing her. As you know, before I was just reluctantly using her because, you know, at the time, I didn't have that many options, but now she actually becomes a legitimate option, so that's cool. Oh yeah, besides that, I guess you can check my Abyss progress. I think I've been clearing Abyss ever since like the start of last year, like full clearing it. The start of last year, I think, is when I started to do that. Yeah, it doesn't really go back that far. It goes back to a year before, but you know, as you can see here, 36, everything. It's honestly not even for the reward. It's more of just like, I know I can do this, so I'm just gonna do this. Not really much of a reward thing because the rewards of Spartal Abyss are kind of butt cheeks. They are horrible. I mean, it also helped that I went into this account with a more optimized mindset because I had already had prior knowledge from the trial and error from the honeymoon period of my main account where I was just running random stuff that just didn't gel together. And then, you know, by that point I'd already figured out some stuff and what characters were good, were actually good, and what characters I was just building because they had, you know, they were okay at the beginner level, right? I think I've done some pretty good stuff on this account, and this account has been more lucky, that's for sure, because my god, 3 crit swords, Hutao C1 plus Staff of Homa, that's insane. And you know, for completely F2P. Now obviously I'm not gonna tell you to like, this is what you should expect, because this is 100% what you should not expect, because for one thing, weapon banners will cuck you over very easily, and it's a very dodgy thing to go on weapon banners. I'm not going to tell you to do that, but should you decide to, this is you know, about what you can get within 2 years of playing the game completely F2P. That, like, the main message of this video is not what you should get or what you should be able to get, it's what you can get. And that's a very big distinction, because it's a bit dodgy to roll in weapon banners, but if at the same time though, if you don't care, you don't care, right? You do whatever the hell you want with your own account. Obviously, I'm not going to advocate for rolling in weapon banners because it is a scam. It 100% is a scam. That, and it's also funny to me how all the characters I seemingly have on this account are all very meta defining, which is hilarious because that was all an accident. Like, that was not intentional in the slightest. The main idea for this account was to have different characters from the ones on my main, because my main, I mean, I can give you all a sneak peek. Yeah, I can give you all a sneak peek. Yeah, you know, the characters that I like in my main are generally not meta defining, besides maybe Tartag. Tartag is up there, and I like him a lot, so. D-Luke, though, I built him. He's not meta-defining in the slightest. Ito kind of. It's like halfway there, but not really. Keqing, not at all. Ganyu, maybe, yeah, sure. But I also have other characters that I just rolled for out of just whim, and then I prioritize characters that I enjoy playing more on my main, and over here it just happened to be all the meta characters, which is why this account is very looks very min-max. Completely unintentional, but that's just how the cookie crumbled, I guess. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of me just going through my free-to-play account and seeing what is possible. Because you've seen it in some of my guide videos, because I've used this account on occasion to showcase some characters that I don't have on my main, so that's why they're over here. But with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in another video. See ya.